So a lot has been happening this past week, and we're apparently preparing for the inauguration. Supposedly, and I have to say that in the clear sense, supposedly, it's going to be transitioning from a Trump presidency to a Biden presidency. However, there's been a lot of speculation across the internet, and this, not just even the internet, but just from recent events in general that honestly have everyone questioning their heads because right now a lot of us are just in the dark. We don't really have President Trump to talk to because he's been censored a lot by the media, by Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. And thank God that they're actually paying for it. Uh, Last time I checked, Twitter and Facebook combined lost $51 billion. $51 billion after 5 days. You just have to find that a good sense of karma when it comes to that. But of course, they're trying to censor all. Big tech is trying to censor all other kinds of different platforms that have a different views, such as Parler. In the case of Parler, Amazon just decided to take off ATM servers, which basically Parler relied on to keep their website going up, and well, it collapsed. But thankfully, the Parler CEO is suing Amazon over antitrust violations, and I hope to God that he succeeds and gets Parler up because I did try to establish my own account on that website, but I'm not holding my breath. It's Amazon, it's Twitter, these group of assholes, and this again, the fact that a lot of this crazy stuff is happening just in this very week is just mind blowing. I can also look into impeachment, where apparently President Trump is the first president to be impeached twice, and of course on bogus charges, because apparently the second impeachment was about him trying to support insurrection, call for insurrection, when in reality that was not what happened. In fact, in one of his videos, which Twitter took down on the 6th for some weird reason, honestly, I think it's just to try to bury Donald Trump, he called for a peaceful assembly and even told his supporters to go home. And yet he apparently is the bad guy in this situation. Who the fuck? Especially after the BLM and Antifa riots that have been plaguing this country since early summer of last year. Go frickin' figure. Speaking of which, that actually reminds me a little bit with the mainstream media. Did you know, as it turns out, they actually have one of their respondents there in the storming of the Capitol building? Yeah, one of their own respondents. I forgot her name, but she was with another Black Lives Matter activist. His name was John Sullivan, and he was filming a lot of the interior of the Capitol building, and the reporter was saying, "We did it," and they were getting a lot of this footage, but he said that he would delete it later, but he never did. Only goes to show to you that this was obviously pre-planned. Hell, the FBI even went so far as to actually say this was pre-planned from the start. The fact that the FBI even themselves had to come out with that, it's just insane at this point. Again, the fact that all of Congress is acting this crazy, especially with what's been going on now from this transition supposedly, and of course the armed protests. By the way, in regards to the armed protests, I highly suggest you follow President Trump's orders and don't go to them, because considering that this is during a very weird time, and especially it's a lot of it's pretty crazy, and especially it's related to the electoral fraud and just all the other problems this whole entire country has, and especially with what happened on January 6th. it's better not to go to these protests whatsoever, because it seems like it's going to be like a false flag operation. But wow, there's just already so much. Normally, in this period of time, Donald Trump is a lame duck. A president should be a lame duck president. He should be more focused on transitioning and preparing for someone else to move into the White House. From what I've been seeing for the last week, that's not the case. He's been pretty active in terms of establishing new executive orders, as well as potentially new pardons as a result, and probably even establishing a special counselor too. Although I cannot confirm whether or not that will actually occur. We'll just have to see within 5 days. So it's just very weird for a president who supposedly is going to leave, give his farewell address, and just fly off to Florida to still be this busy. It just doesn't. None of this makes any sense to me, especially with a lot of the actions around the globe, and not just in terms of in terms of the blackouts, which I will be getting into them soon, but also with in terms of the military movement on American soil. Because right now in Washington, D.C., we have between 25 to 30,000 National Guardsmen in our city. That's just really strange to have that large amount of National Guardsmen, military personnel within the Capitol for the inauguration, and even just a week before the inauguration. Here's the thing. Or here's two things. When Obama was inaugurated, his first term, he had 7,000 to 10,000 National Guardsmen with him. That's actually pretty reasonable. But now we have about 25 to 30,000 National Guardsmen for a virtual inauguration. I say again, a virtual inauguration. Joe Biden specifically decided that he was not going to have it have the parade, have the president's swearing in ceremony, yada yada yada. He just decided to cancel all that, and his excuse is probably COVID-19, and it's spreading. But in reality, I'm willing to bet that it's because there would be a lot of Trump protesters there. And honestly, I think that would have been the case had that gone through, and that just would look bad on him. I mean, already half of the nation, at least, does not believe that this election was fair. And here's the second thing about in regards to massive troop numbers. 30,000 National Guardsmen. That's at least 2, maybe 3 divisions that are just guarding Washington, D.C. But when you compare it to troop deployments in, say, Afghanistan and Iraq, the amount of troops currently deployed in Washington, D.C. is more than the deployed troops we have in Iraq and Afghanistan combined. Honestly, this just seems rather strange. And considering, again, President Obama's inauguration, that just doesn't seem... This doesn't feel or seem normal, if I'm trying to make that to be clear. And of course, there's also the issues with the blackouts that have been occurring, and just a lot of this crazy stuff that's happening in Europe and even in Iran. Because there have been blackouts that have happened in Iran. I heard in also Germany, Italy, and honestly, considering the what's been going on with like illegates, I don't believe in coincidence whatsoever, or even what's happened in Germany with I bet a lot of you recall with a potential special forces operation where in Frankfurt where there was allegedly uh a trans the vote switching going on in a CIA outpost, and Sidney Powell actually mentioned this during one of her conference calls, saying that the good guys have the information. So yeah, I don't believe it's just kind of weird how a lot of this is happening. Now I don't know if I don't know for sure if there was an actual blackout within the Vatican. I've been hearing a lot of people say yes, there was. Others say, no, there hasn't. So I cannot confirm whatsoever. But it does raise some eyebrows, and of course with a lot in terms of the political side of things over on the other side of the pond. In Italy, already at least 4 ministers have decided to resign, which is bringing the Italian government into chaos. And from what I understand, there's also been several resignations within Estonia, Russia, and Holland or Belgium. Either one of those two. I think it was Holland, actually. But yeah, it does seem to be very intricate. And again, let's not forget about the blackout that occurred in Iran. And apparently, from what I understand, thanks to Mike Pompeo, who is still the Secretary of State, by the way, one of the heads of Al Qaeda was actually killed in Iran. So I think that may have related to the blackout situation, as well in that regard. It's just a lot of this situation. What the situation we have right now is really weird. It especially boggles the mind when I hear new reports in terms with Mike Pence and with Joe Biden, because apparently, Vice President elect, or reject, I would like to prefer. Thank you, Black Conservative Patriot, for actually making that up. Joe Biden decided to cancel an inauguration rehearsal on Sunday and decided that he wasn't going to go to DC because of security concerns. Again, this kind of scratches my head. Why? And especially, it just. I'm sorry. I have no other words to describe it because we're in the middle of basically a fog of war at this point. There's very little information. There's a lot of disinformation, and it's very hard to piece together a lot of the situation. So I'm trying to do my best in that regard. But considering that, it's just kind of strange, especially with, again, the troop numbers. At least 30, or between 25 to 30,000 National Guardsmen in the capital. We can even see them on the pictures spread across the internet that it's so overcrowded that they're actually napping and sleeping within the buildings, right next to a lot of these statues, these sculptures. And it's so why would they say there are security concerns? Oh, here's another funny thing that I should mention. Kamala Harris, who is currently the senator and supposedly the vice president-elect. God, I hate that woman so much. How the hell did they just? This is rhetorical, but why did Joe Biden decide to pick Kamala Harris? She's just the worst pick. Not even the left likes her, but anyway, she has not given up her Senate seat. It's already January 15th as I'm making this video, and she has not given up her Senate seat. around this time, Joe Biden managed to resign. In fact, on this very day, when it was clear that Barack Obama was soon going to be sworn in, but she hasn't. Again, there's on in all honesty, it feels from what I understand, she's just trying to hold on as much power as possible, considering especially her personality and how she acted as as one of the attorneys for wasn't it that she an attorney general? I think she was, but she how she acted during that position when she served in California. She's just trying to grab as much power as possible. But okay, continuing on. The final important thing here in regards to movement is because Mike Pence, the vice president, and I know that a lot of people are pretty mad. Believe me, I'm one of them as well. I believe that he had the power under the 12th Amendment to not count the fraudulent electoral college votes, especially when there was obvious evidence. But he is scheduled to make final trips into California and to New York. I don't recall where specifically into New York, or no, not talking about California. But I do know that he's heading to Fort Drum in New York, which contains the 10th Mountain Division. Now, I don't really like looking at Q and stuff. That I try to be more focused into more reliable sources. But considering what's been going on, it does seem pretty sounds a little more coincidental than what it just sounds more than just a coincidence that this is going on, because apparently, according to Q in one of the posts, it says in Red 4 and that there will be a transfer of military assets, specifically the 1st Marine Division and the 10th Mountain Division. And the 1st Marine Division is in Camp Pendleton, California. Again, I do not know for sure that Mike Pence is going to go to Camp Pendleton. But, again, he is confirmed to be going to Fort Drum, which, again, has the 10th Mountain Division. But, again, I'm not saying that this is true or not, because I'm out there. But I think it's important to give this a shout out to, especially with my subscribers, both on YouTube and on BitChute. Especially considering that this is happening around the weekend. Mike Pence is doing this. I do not think that we have seen the end of this entire craziness. This is definitely a movie that we're living in. And I know that there may be a few people on the comment section that are going to specifically talk about how Donald Trump is supposedly is having a farewell address right before he leaves on Air Force One. But again, with what we've been seeing for the past few weeks, in fact, no, not just the past few weeks, the past couple of months, it does not seem like Donald Trump is going to go without a fight with this. It does. It seems like he's preparing for something. What specifically, I do not know. Now, there's a major chance that January 20th may come out without a hitch. That nothing happens. Joe Biden becomes the next president. Illegitimately, of course, but he's sworn in. But again, with everything that's been happening, it does seem like Donald Trump is attempting to do something else. What, again, I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see on January 20th. Because again, we're just not done with this ride. We are absolutely not done with this ride. But we'll just have to wait and see as the climax to this movie that we're currently in, it eventually comes up to close to us as days continually pass by until January 20th. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. My name is Noah Meehan on The Arc of Truth. Please put your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, in regards to my videos, such as how I frame stuff, how I speak, or whatever, anything that you guys suggest I improve, please post your comments section down below or directly message me. And share with your friends. I highly suggest that. Bye.